Hey everybody, a very warm welcome to the show. I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton, and this week I invite you to come dance with me on Inspire Middle East as we explore Lebanon's Caracalla Dance Theatre, a company which was established back in 1968 and which has since toured the world with its ballets, musical and theatre performances.
Why don't we have a dance theatre in Lebanon and in the Arab world?
A little bit later on in the show, we'll head to one of the poorest areas of Tunisia to find out how hip-hop and breakdancing is not only speaking to a marginalised youth, but fighting extremism. But first, Leila Molana Allen has more on a Beirut-based cultural company which has gained an international reputation for melding Western choreography and traditional Arabic art forms.
Growing up as a child in the ancient city of Baalbek, deep in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, every summer Abdel-Halim Caracalla would watch performers from around the world grace the city's Roman ruins during the Baalbek International Festival. After reaching the peak of physical fitness as a championship pole vaulter, he followed his passion for performance to London, where he studied under the legendary Martha Graham and honed his skills as a dancer and choreographer. By 1968, he felt compelled to create a dance company of his own.
Following the call of my destiny, the question came to me, why don't we have a dance theatre in Lebanon and in the Arab world?
But that journey would not be easy. At the time, dancing would usually only be found at weddings in the Middle East, when guests would join hands and dance the region's traditional Debke folk dance.
I was born into a society which had no links or favor whatsoever toward the world of dance. And back then, pursuing a career in dance was considered unacceptable for both men and women. But I was determined.
Abdel-Halim realized his vision, creating a dance company that made history in the region. Half a century later, Caracalla Dance Theatre has toured the world many times over, performing on some of the greatest stages, including New York's Kennedy Center, London's Sadler's Wells, and Moscow's Strada Theatre. Abdel-Halim's daughter ALISSAR trained in dance in London and the US before returning to Lebanon to take over as the company's choreographer. She sees the style her father created as a unique evolution in Arab dance culture.
This was completely new. So the company started, and instead of him taking a style and imitating the West, he decided to create his own style.
Creating that style involved merging elements of traditional Middle Eastern dance, culture and music with the stricter technique of Western dance styles.
It's a mixture of the East and the West. It's the warmth of the Middle East, the music, the colors, the textures, but then you also have the technique of the West, and you need that technique. You can't just take a folkloric step and put it on stage and do a 2-hour performance with just a folkloric step. You need to be able to elaborate that dance form. So by mixing these two styles, we've been able to elaborate the language of dance.
Starting with just 10 dancers, the Caracalla Dance Company soon became world-renowned, attracting talented dancers from many countries into its ranks, traveling across the globe to bring Oriental dance to new audiences. But more struggles were to come, as Lebanon descended into civil war in 1975. Despite the hardships, the company never stopped practicing and performing.
It was a sign of hope, and the Lebanese would look to the company as the only entity that mixed all cultures, all religions. And even during the war, the company kept traveling abroad. And the Lebanese who had to leave Lebanon to live abroad because of the war started to feel very connected.
Now, 30 years after the end of the war, Caracalla and Lebanon are sharing a new challenge, and it's one encountered the world over: the novel coronavirus. Caracalla's ballet master, TATIANA, is originally from Ukraine, but moved to Lebanon 20 years ago to join the company first as a dancer and now as a teacher. Despite the dancers having to self-isolate, she's keeping them fighting fit with daily dance classes and workouts on Zoom.
Our body, it's a machine which we have to maintain. Yeah, you cannot put a pause, come back, and you start where you've been. No.
The dancers are using the time to perfect the performances they'll put on for the public once the isolation period ends. Just before the pandemic hit, the company had premiered its production of Jamil Buthaina, an epic love story little known outside of the region, set in a sand-swept valley evocative of Al-Ula in Saudi Arabia. Caracalla is moving forward into a new phase of its life, while keeping Abdel-Halim's spirit and vision at its core. His children are taking up the mantle from their father to carry the dance company into the future.
Even in ALISSAR today, face their own challenge, not only in continuity, but more importantly, in developing the company to cross a new frontier.
His son Ivan has become the company's creative director. Ivan has taken the shows to new technological heights with the introduction of impressive visual displays on stage. But no matter how the dance style evolves and the technology they use moves forward, the rich tradition of storytelling will always be at the heart of Caracalla performances.
2020, everything's modern, we have to push into the future. Another could say, no, we have to keep our identity, we have to keep our culture. We don't want to veer too far off our roots. And one could say, but listen, we can do both together at the same time, don't you think? Not the idea of being modern or being abstract, but of being contemporary.
ALISSAR and Ivan know what a heavy responsibility they're inheriting to carry their father's dream and success into the future.
It's always been a love story with the company, and not because Caracalla is my father, but I am so connected to what he does. And I realize he has given a specific identity to the Middle East. He has allowed people in the Middle East to believe that they can dance.
By keeping his creative ambitions in mind, they believe Caracalla will soar to ever greater heights. For Abdel-Halim, while some things change, the intrinsic values of dance endure.
The mystery of dance remains in the human body, spirit, body, and mind, where alphabet and language change from generation to generation, from time to time, and from choreographer to another choreographer.
Sticking with the dance theme, but changing tempo slightly, we head now from Lebanon to Tunisia, where Rosalise Thompson has more on how hip-hop and breakdancing is not only providing a hobby, but also an outlet to disenfranchised young men.
For years, Tunisia's Kasserine Mountains have acted as a hideaway and training camp for armed extremists. On the border with Algeria, the mountain ridges create the perfect cover for both countries' militants. Despite government efforts to weed out the terrorists, poverty and unemployment in the region has created a fertile recruitment ground. But boys at the top of Jabal Shamaman are combating extremism with hip-hop. Led by the 19-year-old AWADH, the teenagers are being taught to channel their struggles into dance.
We discovered the Ghar Boys group 4 years ago in the mountains. We started training with them, being supervised by senior people, and it gradually grew and became bigger and bigger. Then we started training the younger ones, correcting their moves, supporting them. We were creating choreography together, and the atmosphere was good. Hip-hop has helped me deal with my struggles and worries. It gives you an escape from reality and distances you from others in society. It's better than many other things.
Breakdancing may have originated in America in the late 1960s, but over the last few decades, it has grown in popularity across the Arab world. For years, youth raised under authoritarian regimes have turned to it as a form of political protest and personal expression. Hip-hop and rap were widely used to ignite the protests that toppled the regime of Tunisia's then-president Ben Ali in 2011. Rapper El General's song, Raise Le Bled, which loosely translates as President of the Country, became the anthem to the country's revolution. This dance crew meet regularly at a cultural centre funded by the non-profit Ramberg Foundation.
We developed this project closely to the communities who are living there, in order to create and develop new narratives around what can be the future for youth. And in particular, this group of breakdancers were used to work and to dance and to practice in the mountain, I mean, without any kind of materials. And now that this center exists, they can really practice. And they are giving a new image for the youth.
AMEER joined the group over a year ago and quickly took on new moves. Popping and locking, the boys are hoping to soon compete in dance battles across the country, and they're determined to shine a positive light on their village.
Many people associate Shamama with terrorism, but I tell them they're wrong. We're good souls. We walk through the mountains and we work hard and earn our income with the sweat of our brows. We also like breakdancing. We will do the impossible to show them what Shamama is about. Its children are not terrorists. We are not scary people. We only fight through art.
As the boys dance, their mothers gather at the center to weave baskets. Selling these in shops in the capital, Tunis, provides the main source of income for many households in the village. The mothers hope that hip-hop will provide an alternative path and a brighter future for their sons.
Well, it's time for us to take our curtain call. Thank you very much for watching, and do be sure to catch all of our episodes online at Euronews.com. Before I leave you with some dance-inspired posts that we liked from Instagram this week, I'd just like to say, stay safe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Lebanese Isabel perfected her ballet moves at Caracalla rehearsals. And UAE resident Diala believes that dance equals freedom.